Everybody loves a bit of Neil Diamond down there and a bit of Sweet Caroline. Well, almost everybody. Where I can plug a wire in to keep my phone charged off one of the computers. I've actually got a new phone so the battery don't die like the one I use. So this one's alright, but I don't want it to run now. Okay. Just having a bit of a warm-up, I feel, on table. Just gone for a tea break while the next teams line up, get ready to play the match. Next match-up coming shortly.
Make sure what So, I'm out of breath, Reggie. I'm out of breath. We're back. Second frame.
Here we go, the Railway in it against the Ball Breakers.
We've got Brad Kemp versus Dan Calladine. That's Brad at the table for Railway in it. I will put the names on again. It's just when we was on two tables in the last match.
Elite Kerslake against Dan Flat.
No.
First table. We've got two tables. Beg your pardon. You're looking at, so second one in game.
Brad Kemp.
Brad Kemp. And table number 2, beg your pardon.
Dan Calladine. I'll teach you, Reggie. We'll get there.
Table number 2.
Table number 2. We've only got one table.
Oh, we've got table base. We're only on one table at the moment then.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just laid the law down up there before.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you about it in private in a bit. It was... for those of you tuned in, you know what's coming now. If you can hear the music come through the microphone. That's us here at the Bapto.
Pardon the language, but such as the song goes, Who the F is Alice?
Who the bugger else? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I have no idea who it is. Anyway, but we started this. I mean, it's always been like this at the Golden 8 Ball events, but we started this for the first time at Bapto last year, and I think it was because I'm not too sure. I might be speaking out of turn here, but I think one of the Bapto committee had to leave early because he wasn't so well. So they decided then to put the music up a little bit and get a bit of an atmosphere, and they absolutely loved it. So obviously the committee are all right with it and continued.
Yeah, of course.
It does generate a great atmosphere, Reggie.
It does. And I think it's like that feel-good factor, if you like, at an event. As much as we all like to be serious and game after game watching every ball, but I think a lot of the other teams that are getting involved in these events, lesser teams that have tried it for the first and second time, and wanted, it helps to relax the atmosphere a little bit rather than just a cold steel silence.
Yeah, Bernard, hang on a minute, I just lost it. Bernard Rowell has asked what's all the shouting out in the background. It's singing, Bernard, it's called singing. Yeah, I mean, out of all the teams that are here this weekend, probably, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 have come thinking that they've got, well, no, there's quite a few more than that thinking they've got every chance, but realistically, there's 5 or 6 teams that have got a good chance of winning this. Everybody else was coming for a weekend of beer and a bit of pool at the same time.
I would say there's probably, I like to do it in 8s. I would say there is probably 8 teams here who can win it. If you then had to narrow it down, there's probably 4 who are out of the 8 who you'd pick and go, they're the 4.
Yeah.
The rest, there's probably another 30 teams, maybe 40 teams.
Bit of luck might just have a chance.
Bit of luck might just get to the quarters, semis, that sort of thing, depending on the draw. And the rest, as you say, Wayne, have come for a weekend away, a great bit of atmosphere, and enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
And that's, let's not forget, as much as we all like to compete and win, it is about enjoying
yourself. Bit of a release, isn't it, I suppose, Most people come to Blackpool for illuminations, a dip in the sea. Don't know why, but they do.
Well, I remember a bloke that went to Blackpool many years ago, and at midnight hour, I remember, I think it was the 3s, it could have been at a different Blackpool side of Blackpool, but it was like he ended up getting dragged into the sea. I don't know what he done, but they managed to save him. He had his Speedos on. Yeah, it was a close call for the guy at the time many years ago, and he, as I say, luckily he was pulled out to sea. But as much as he was pulled out to sea and saved from death, very, very, he could have died.
It happens a lot.
The joke was they were all joking the next day, saying he had his Speedos on when they got him out of the sea.
It was Speedos on.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it took all the seriousness away from the fact this guy could have got drowned, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we forgot the fact that he could have died. He had Speedos on, not Calvin Klein box shorts. I
bet when they fished him out with Speedos on, I bet I wish he had died. You know what I mean? I can't believe somebody's just bought me a pint of lager. What time is it?
I've seen it.
What time is it?
Allez.
I'll say he was tuned in before, and I forgot his name now. Right. Our French friend.
Oh,
Gerald, if you're still listening, if you're tuned in. Thank you very much, Gerald. His wife just fetched me a pint over from Gerald, who's back in France. So it's come a long way. Thank you very much appreciated. I don't put teams on stream for little gifts like a pint of lager, but it all helps. But it's a little bit early, man. It's early for me.
Come on, listen, if you're in Scotland, it's never too early for the bar to open.
I don't usually start drinking at these events until about 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
Evening drinkers, me and you, Wayne, normally, really, evening drinkers.
Well, yeah, I suppose. I'm not driving, am I, so...
It's
Oh, she's back.
Just started a watch party on my Facebook. Thanks to everybody that's tuning in. It's currently Railway in its one against Ball Breakers on the stream table. This is for one apiece, and it is one apiece. He's wiped his feet off the near jaw. The fist pump's gone out, but it's the main point being the Newark lads here, I think, is it? They're from Newark Q Club. The Ball Breakers are one apiece. They're back on terms. And I gotta say, the hospitality here is second to none.
I tell you what, Reggie. I've just.
You know this tea tastes lovely.
Oh, it looks, yeah. Have you got tea? Oh, I've got coffee. Right, no. So the girl from France. What's her name again?
It's I've got a watch party going now.
Have you?
Yeah.
Charrier. She's just come over. She was in absolute bits because she'd got a handbag and it was empty. Somebody emptied her handbag off. So I don't know what had happened, but somebody had found all the stuff that was in the handbag. It must have fallen out. I don't know. He's found it, and we was just going to the front of the stage, and he's there. Wait, just to give it her. She was in absolute pieces. So she's made up. I'll tell you what, doesn't happen too often that, but to say it happens here and it gets returned, it's nice. It's nice.
It's nice to hear stories
so
like that.
She's a happy girl again now, but.
Okay, the Railway needs to break. A man like Granite, which is the name on the back of his top, so that's what I'm going to call him. Ready to break, steadying himself up, shoring himself up, walks onto the brakes, into the shot. Here we go. How's it look? It's not bad, it's a good split, but is he dry? Yeah, dry as a baker's oven after a hot day.
So Mike Ginger Francis is asking, is there a best player? I don't know if you mean in the whole competition or in these two teams here, but there's quite a few this weekend. As much as it is amateur, there is quite a few good players. The singles is open to quite a few. I think possibly though I'll stick a name on it. I'll stick Aaron Davis's name down there. He's a good chance of winning the singles event.
Absolutely.
Just won the event at Blue Dolphin. And I think, I'm not too sure, I can't remember now, it's only a few weeks ago he won the one for Ross McInnes' team, the Black Ball Tables event. He won that one as well.
Yeah, who did?
Aaron.
Oh, Aaron Davis. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry, beg your pardon. Yeah, well, Aaron Davis is, for me,
steady, isn't he?
A very, very methodical player. And to be honest, doesn't matter which frame he's playing, whether Aaron's got drop-ins or a technical table where it needs a bit of thought, he seems to play everything pretty much, and actually, I'll make a point of saying this. He plays every shot, whether it's the toughest shot or the easiest shot, and it's like he's playing the same shot
every time.
Yeah, with the same level of concentration. Yeah. It's a bit like Liam Dunster in a way, that type of thing. Dunstan's is never phased, never moved by a situation. It just seems to keep
never rushed by somebody else if they're playing quick.
Seems to be able to just keep his concentration and stay at the same methodical, measured pace throughout a match. Or Oliver Jones, Ball Breakers will twitch, give them a chance. Morning, Lee Reynolds, if you're tuning in, hope you're alright, mate. Catch up again with you sometime today at some point. So one apiece here, race to 6. Interesting to see how this one pans out. Well, he's had a bit of a swipe at that one. It's got a bit astray, but maybe not too much damage done.
Well, we're starting with a Tom Jones now.
Yeah, a bit of a why Delilah in about the area. And everybody likes a bit of Tom, let's be right.
Each to their own, Reggie.
Well, absolutely. You know, the Welshman, he's not a potting machine, but he's definitely a singing machine, that's for sure. You know, young lady playing here for the ball breakers again. You don't, as I say, see that many ladies players playing for the men's teams. But
she looks a little bit like young Charlie McDonough.
Well, she actually looks a very good, she looks a decent ladies player. If you just look at the last shot, the measured shot there, the pace, the control of the white, to dolly off one red and drop him behind the other. Very good shot from that distance.
You know about this shot, Reggie?
Yeah, this shot here, look at this. I mean, what a measured shot this is. Never easy on such a quick cloth. Couldn't have played it much better. Maybe one more inch to the left, perfect, stuck on the red, but nonetheless, giving their opponent a real problem. So good shot there, definitely. Credit where credit's due. That's a good escape, and you know what? Wow. You know, it just never seems to amaze. It'll never amaze me what you see in this game at times. Honestly,
it's nice when it happens.
Well, yeah, nice if it's you.
It's nice if it's you.
Yeah.
Not so nice if it's your opponent.
Honestly, unbelievable things. Bal, how you doing? Tuning into this one from Birmingham. A lot of people on the stream already this morning. Numbers up to nearly 100 deep.
Yeah, Stephen's saying it's looking a little bit blurry. I think the problem is, certainly in June, we had some spotlights that was on. Colin the AV man is a little bit like Rip Van Winkle. You very rarely see him, you know what I mean? And he's forgot to turn the lights on last night. And we've not seen him today, and he's supposed to be
that's a bit like at times. So who was it that was saying to me? They were saying, I was here last night, and somebody said to me, that's a bit like seeing Mel Harley out on the floor.
Yeah, Reggie, you can't say things like that.
They're saying that where is he?
You're trying to say Mel Harley doesn't go out on the floor?
Well, that's what they were saying. I can't give no names. Somebody
else was saying it, all right.
Somebody else said it to me, and I was like, well, I can't comment on that, I'm sorry.
No, exactly.
It's, you know, that's your opinion, fair enough.
Yeah.
The Vanishing Man, Mel Harley, that's what he was calling him. The Vanishing Man.
Bang out of order.
Wow, dear, oh dear.
Anyway, yeah, so, I mean, they are focused. It's just because of the lighting. Unfortunately, Rob does know about it, and he's going to speak to Colin as soon as he comes in to turn these spotlights on above. But because we have, I've got an overhead camera, which is that one there. The lights are a little bit further away from the table itself, and they're only normal table lights and nothing special. So even though we've got two of them, it doesn't compensate for the distance.
Missed that one, but it's had a result there. The Reds come back across, the Whites run up the table. She's trying to pod the ball and run it round with top off two cushions, and obviously she's had second best there, Wayne. Her opponent snooker, I think it looks like I think it's a total snooker.
He's having a bit of a laugh about it, but
I think it's total snooker. I've got a bird's eye view of it from over the monitor here.
Can't really tell from that angle.
But they're saying between them it isn't. I think that is. But this is that time Mel Harley could earn his money.
Yeah, I don't think it's a total snooker.
It's close, isn't it, though? It's tight.
I think you can see that. I think she's told him no. It's tight, but I think there is a gap. There is an edge sticking out.
He's decided to raise the buttercup, a slight swerve.
Just make sure, yeah.
And he's played it very, very, very well. What a great shot. Now, she probably would have been, to be fair, even if it was total, he probably still would have played it that way anyway, so don't think it makes. There's Tommy Donlan to my right now, just standing out over there.
There is, yeah.
The disher, he's like.
The disher.
He's, we'll look forward to seeing him over the weekend and watching events unfold.
I'll get him on later on tonight. One of the singles. I think the first round of the singles we'll get.
We need to get him on
the
stream table.
Such a good player to watch back in the day, in the early 90s.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, listen, the guy's been around forever. I remember watching him play Greg Farron in the late 80s on stream.
Yeah.
Greg Farron, obviously.
Where was he from? Leicester way as well, Greg? Or was it?
Well, he's Irishman, wasn't he? But I'm not sure where he's from over this way. Greg Farron's Irish, obviously.
Or was he from Liverpool?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to.
I can't remember now.
I get it wrong, but I remember watching old footage of Farron against Donlan, this sort of thing, and as I say, these were the guys that were cream of the crop.
These guys, you know, unlike Sir Tommy, all of the pros, in fact, in back in the day, in the early 90s, late 80s, 90s, and what have you, turned up in the proper gear, the waistcoats, the dicky bows, the dinner trousers, and everything. It was a proper job, even at competitions like this, Reggie. The Bapto, the Tower, everybody used to have to wear, obviously, a dress code like they do here. Got to wear a collared shirt and trousers and shoes. But the pros would always be dressed in the proper gear. You know what I mean? So you knew they were professionals.
Well, do you remember the old format? Round about up until about 2005.
7-man team, 3-man team.
Always, it was sevens, threes, singles men, singles ladies stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, sometimes you'd have pro events as well thrown in, pro lineup. And you'd always know the pros because, like I say, the immaculate dress sense to go, they just stood out. And of course, you knew when you watched them play the level of ability, shot making, call it what you like. And to be honest, it enhanced the occasion because the lesser players who come, just the average club players from the local clubs, good players, would always be over. There'd be a crowd forming around those tables saying, "This is how it is. These guys are pros for a reason."
Yeah, and you know, as much as they was approachable, you never did approach him. You didn't go up to him and, "How's it going, mate?"
It almost felt
They wasn't your mate. You know what I mean?
No, these were just. It's a bit like going to a snooker event.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't just get to walk up to Stephen Hendry or Ronnie or whoever, Mark Williams. That type
different
of
world back then. Different world.
And these guys, it was the same for these
guys. There was an aura
pros.
about them, weren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because they'd earned that right to be where they were in the game. So fair play.
For those of you that are just tuned in and listening to us banging on about professionals, it's because we just had Tommy Donlan, who's here this weekend, stood at the side of us.
Yeah,
he's gone for a walk around, I think.
To the arena somewhere, bless him. But the disher himself, the reputation goes before him. And
I'd like to see his comments on Facebook after this weekend because,
absolutely.
I mean, I know he's still been playing a little bit. He's not been playing anything like he used to play, certainly not tournament-wise anyway. But he has started to play a little bit more than what he has been over the years, and I'd just like to see what he feels because he won't have seen an atmosphere like the Golden 8 Ball before
the last
or
time
Bapto.
I saw Donlan play was I think it was year 2 at the Leicester Tour. It was a tour event that I took Craig to for 2 years running, won it twice. And I think it was year 2 where he beat Tommy in the final. I think it was like 6-1 up in the final, Craig.
That must be recent then, it's not that long ago.
4 or 5 years ago.
Right,
4 years ago, and 6-1 up, Tommy come back to 6-4, and then Craig run out
the
of
Leicester
7-4.
Tour, Reggie, must have had some decent sticks in it, so to get to the final is an achievement anyway.
Yeah, he was,
nice to know.
He was a tour runner at the 147 Club each year, a certain event that Craig went to, his world rules, and he'd won it back-to-back years at the time. When he was Bapto champion round about that time. So, as I say, Tommy beat Tommy in one of the finals.
It was Charlie. It was Charlie McDonough.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was, because, look, Mark McDonough's come on there.
Yeah, no, because do forgive me, Mark, because I'm sat behind the TV, as you know, and so I've only seen her from the screen. And I did say before, she looks like Charlie McDonough here. But obviously, because it's a team that I don't know, I didn't realise. And I was told yesterday she wasn't in the team, so she must have joined the team.
Yeah, Wayne's loving life. It's a bit early for a beer, Gerald, but Wayne's loving the fact.
Thank you, Gerald.
Hey, the wife's come over. She's done Wayne proud here. It's early, but Wayne's very much in appreciation of the goodwill gesture. And we turn the camera around here. Look, here we go. Everybody tuning in here. I've even got my sister-in-law tuning in. What's going on here?
Your sister-in-law?
Yeah, my brother's wife just tuned in here. Well, what have I done there? What?
So this one here is for Gerald. This is for Gerald. Cheers, Gerald. Very much appreciated. All the best. And I hope you enjoy watching the scenes here in Blackpool.
His missus needs to get me one, then we're even happier. I could have done with a beer
Reggie,
as well.
you can't be saying things like that.
I'm only messing. I'm actually, at this time, like I said earlier on, a daytime teetotaler. I love me.
I am. I don't have a drink me in the daytime,
Yeah,
but I'm going
right.
to drink it. I'm going to force it down. I'm going to force it down my throat and enjoy every single drop. It's not often you get drinks bought, and like I say, it's appreciated, and it didn't need to do it.
The hospitality is always accepted in the manner that it's given. So, of course, thank you very much to the lady there for doing the honours for Wayne.
He'll go well with this chocolate I've got.
He's loving life right now, Miss Wayne. He really is. He's got chocolate. He's got chocolate sensation, followed with
Carlsberg.
With Carlsberg. I was wondering which beer it was. It's Carlsberg, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, tastes like it.
Maybe a bit early for the old San Miguel.
I don't do. It's too strong for me, that, Reggie.
Too strong.
I'm only little.
Oh,
too
all right
strong.
then. I'll let you off.
Too strong.
Okay, back to the action. Sorry, we're getting a bit. It's becoming a bit of a Reggie and Wayne show at the moment.
Doesn't matter. That's what it's all about. A bit of fun.
But it's currently 2-1 to the Railway, and the Newark Q Club team here, which I believe are probably playing out of Jules Goodyear's place. Newark Q Club. I'm sure that's the one.
Is that what it is?
Well, that's the tops they've got, a Newark Q Club.
Right,
So
okay.
I believe that's Jules Goodyear's place.
But he's not allowed because he's professional. Is he still? I don't know.
I think he could be. I'm not sure.
He was on the IPA, weren't he? I think.
He was on the IP. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if he was pro though.
I thought he was. I don't know. It's still a decent stick anyway.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look, these guys, this is their own team. This team that's playing here, they all, it's a local team from that area wearing the Newark Q Club logo. So fair play.
Terry Mulligan says, I think is it the Undertaker that's on now? He says, I think the Undertaker will bury him. But we've not heard that one before this morning.
Well, I should hope so. If he's in that line of work.
He got buried last time by one of the French players.
I should hope he does bury him. There's no point being an Undertaker.
It is the Undertaker. You can tell. He's not smiling. They don't smile, Undertakers, do they? Not allowed to.
No, they're not allowed
Not allowed to.
They've got to wear that permanent frown.
Yeah. A friend of mine's an Undertaker. You start seeing him too often, don't you, when you get to a certain age? You don't want to see him. Well, you do want to see him, because if you don't see him, then you might be in the box, so... Oh, there's a bit of rivalry there. I think Oliver Jones says the Ball Breakers are the reserve team from Newark Q Club. Reserve team, no less. So yeah, Jared, your wife, she lost the contents of her handbag not long ago, and some kind chap had found it all. It must have fallen out of the bag itself because everything was separated and it was all together. So she found it again, so she's a little bit happier now, but she was a little bit upset. I can understandable.
Yeah, Oliver Jones saying Ball Breakers are the reserve team from the Newark Q Club, and I think Mike there quickly stepping in. Mike Ginge Francis, they're the league champs. Show some respect.
The league champs.
Professor Poole live on telly. Yeah, the Undertaker smiling. That's not in his criteria. He was smiling there off camera.
Was he?
He was, the Undertaker.
A bit of wind, I think.
It could be. But either way, I definitely clocked a smile. So
that's what I like to see over there. Over there, Reggie. Let's have a look. Over there. A little bit of team bonding. Clive Bentley. I don't know who the two players are, but the team from the Railway in it. Hugging each other.
Okay, just really not a lot to do here. Just drop the balls in. I think probably the hardest shot is going to be because of the path he's taken. He could have knocked the long one in first to the bottom right, but he's took the two at the top end of the table. So really, it's just about negotiating an angle to get over that side of the table to drop the black down to the bottom left. Looks like he's got a little bit of angle to work with. It looks about perfect if you're drawing this as a stun and screw, like a bit of a punch, and draw the white back. It's quick cloth, and try and go between the yellow and the black, that sort of area, and drop in that area. Maybe whether he can run it through with a load of right hand side, I'm not sure how much he can get onto this, but he's played the stun shot, but got into it much too much, and now he's snookered himself. So the angle clearly was there, but of course too much pace, too much little bit of adrenaline there, has got into it, had a little smile to himself, realised he snookered himself, and called total. Jake almost Lee would have got on that. I tell you what, Jake, even Harvey would have got on that. I'm only joking. Say hello to your dad for me when you see him. Tell him to calm down. Life's too short to be holding grudges for the rest of your life. Good effort, and again he's had a result there. He hasn't left the black. Not sure from this angle whether he can get any of it or if it is a total or not. Looks like it is a total, or is it? It's hard to see, but I think it is. And well, there you go. He could get some of it, which is what I suspected, Wayne. I thought, could he get any of it? And he could, and the bit he could get was the point.
Just enough.
Yeah. So result for the Railway, move into a 3-1 lead. Got a bit of Beatles thrown in the background here, a Paul McCartney classic. A man like Tobias Bolt tuning in. Tobias, how you doing? So 3-1 it is to the Railway at the moment. I feel there's plenty more twists and turns in this one. I think this will be a lot closer match than the previous game with the French outfit that didn't really manage to get going and take some of the good chances they had, and as a result lost 9-1 to the Railway. Railway, obviously, if they win this game, obviously move into tomorrow, will have won 2 out of 2, or 2 from a possible 3. But yeah, this, as I say, 3-1, all to play for. These middles are not forgiving. Honestly, I cannot reiterate it enough, and I've said it before so many times. people will watch on the stream and say, and honestly, it looks for all the world, if that was the Supreme table winner, sort of normal that you play, that you see at tournaments, like in the Worlds and stuff, in the Imperial, those balls drop in and the bags are more forgiving. But on these sort of Sam Leisure tables or whatever, the middles are just naughty. So when you've got a ball that's just below the middle, normally on a Supreme you think, well, that's just going to drop dolly that one into the middle. The middles are pretty forgiving. Here, that's a bad ball because they're never gimmies. Them angles there. There's barely enough room for a ball to just miss the first knuckle and for the pocket to grab it and suck it in. And as you saw, that was a perfect example, that yellow by Clive Bentley, that last shot. The pocket is obviously they're not forgiving in it, and obviously it rolled over the lip and didn't go in. But it's presented the opposition with this chance, and I kind of feel that he really needs to take this being 3-1. You wouldn't want to be going further behind at 4-1 in a race to 6. He's played that pretty well. That's pretty good. Doesn't really need to do a lot with this. Just punch this in, because the angle on the red, if he stops the white pretty much where it is, would be a fine. Just need to punch this in up. Played it well, yeah, and of course, leaving the white in that sort of area, he's got an angle to work with to punch this one in, and he could, just stun this in off the top cushion and would have a shot from the black. Of course, he's tried it too much and come down and get into the black when there really wasn't, for me, any need for that, and he stuck it up well and truly, because the blacks now are well into the open, and you can't see Clive Bentley missing really these big
steady player is Clive, isn't he?
He'll be disappointed, the lad from the new... Wow.
Commentator's curse. Just a little bit nonchalant there.
Oh, that's just as careless. That's
yeah,
careless. But the
too easy.
It's
too
the
easy.
middle bags way, and I told you they're not. People don't realise they don't suck them in. They've got to be accurate on this table. Wow, I wonder how important that miss will prove to be by Clive Bentley.
Whoa, 4-1, 3-2. Massive difference.
Massive.
1 frame away, well, it's 2 frames away from victory.
Yeah, it's...
all of a sudden, it's game on, Reggie.
He enjoyed that very much, game on. Pocket moved. Just doing a sound test. Can everybody actually hear the commentary, the sound? Okay. Just somebody make a comment. Just doing a little bit of a sound check. Seem to have struggling here. Bit of a difficulty. Seem to have lost sound maybe at my end. It's 3-2, 3 frames to 2. Cheers, Mike. You can hear me. Wayne, are we losing sound or are we okay?
No, the sound's all right from us. It's just because of the music's so loud in here.
Yeah, we can't.
I'm not getting a break long enough to be able to listen on the phone to make sure everything's all right. But
yeah,
I'm sure I can hear something. That's the only thing.
Mike, Ginge, Francis, obviously, I just said, and Andrew Whittle, Derek says sounds fine. So thanks, guys. David Parnell as well. Thanks very much. So 3-2 it is.
Yeah, it's down to the players to sort that out.
Good chance here for the railway.
Forget that. Do that one over there. Sort it out then. Sort it out. Oh, the mouse, click it.
It's amazing, isn't it? For the love of a mouse, people can't click a mouse.
I've already shown the captain how to do it, so if they're not going to pass it on, Reggie, I'm not a babysitter. You know what I mean?
There's a laptop in the arena.
It's annoying that they come over screaming and shouting as if you've committed a murder.
Can the viewers see this monitor here? Can they see that camera angle?
You can see that camera angle.
You can see on the side camera angle there. There's a laptop right.
For them to update it. It's not hard, is it? But anyway, we'll not go on to it too much. I'll just go and have a word with their captain to make sure that his team players know how to sort it out.
It's just a matter of getting the mouse, put the cursor onto the red score on the laptop and just click on it to add a frame on to make it 3-2. So the player that won the last frame hasn't done that, or his captain hasn't told him if he wins the frame that you've just got to click on it and update your score on the laptop. The opposition are now going to do it, and actually guys doing it now. 3-2, there you go. So it comes up on the arena scoreboard, etc, etc. So it's all good. It's been done now. So the arena scoreboard reads right as well. 3 frames, I think. No, that's still not updated, but the score reads 3 frames to 2 in favour of the railway. Good chance, as I say, looked like a good chance. It's gone begging, but still favourite for me to win the frame. The guy's got his work cut out here for the Newark Q Club, or should I say the ball breakers. And like I said, these middles are not like the Supreme winners. Leaving this shot here, I mean, this is a hell of a shot. There's hardly any pocket right behind him here without looking at the monitor. Very, very tough shot to negotiate. And that's another ball now gone onto a rail, in big trouble really in this frame. And he'll need a bit of help from his opponent now, he feels too. If he's to go on and win this frame, he's definitely going to need some help. Cheers, Mark Smith, thanks very much. Don't know if you can get enough of this to pot it. Very tight to a foul, but just about enough. That's okay, red first. Bit deceptive sometimes from the angle, or when you look at it on a monitor, as when you look at it from the naked eye onto the table itself.
Thanks for that, Mark. I'm back again, Reggie. Just have to educate the teams again.
He keeps running off to Swain. He's skiving all the while, but he knows he's got a good big man in the commentary box, so it means he gets a bit more time to go and run off and disappear.
I'm out of breath a lot to say I'm skiving, Reggie.
I'm only joking, mate.
I know you are.
I just wouldn't want you coming to any harm, mate. Overworking the old ticker.
I'm overworking the right arm at the minute.
If the teams want to keep bringing the beers, Wayne's happy to accept the hospitality.
I've already had one from France.
There you go, all the way from France.
Yeah.
Is there any other takers?
Beautiful.
Is there any Irish in the room that want to come over and buy Wayne a beer?
He's joking. I do take bribes, but not this early in the morning.
No, a bit early for bribes. But he likes the cash bribes. The beer bribes aren't really.
Cash bribes? Can we get cash bribes?
Yeah, there's cash bribes as well floating around, I've been told.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go then. So if you want to get your team on stream.
Not that we're anything to do with that.
No.
Something I heard.
Anyway, back to the pool, Reggie. Who have we got now? I've lost track of
Not
it.
too bad, Terry Mulligan. Thanks very much. Had a lot going on in recent times. A lot of stress and everything else, hassle, and trying to find the time to practice myself at pool and stuff. But generally, I can't complain. I'm happy enough. So yeah, thanks very much for asking, Terry.
So we've got Kevin Gallican. He did not print it like it. Anyway, so it's Kevin for Railway, innit?
It's Kevin Galligan, I think.
Galligan. All right, is a G. For Railway, innit? And Dan the Flat from Ball Breakers.
And if this red passes, it doesn't pass. He's gone for the cut. It's a good shot.
I'll tell you what, it's a great shot.
This black, he's had a nice little kiss on the yellow there as yellow come back.
This is for the 4-2 lead.
Yeah, this is for the 4-2 lead.
If you can hear the sound in the background, it's because we've got it on our phones just to make sure, we're just making sure that the sound's okay. Obviously we've got headphones on, so it's absolutely crystal clear for us. So, unless we have a listening every now and again.
Yeah,
that's a great
good
shot.
4-2 to the Railway. Just 2 frames away from qualifying from their group. You get 3 games, obviously, for those of you that are not aware of the format. There's usually 3 matches to play in the group stages. And the idea being to try and win 2 to pretty much assure yourself qualification. Sometimes it can be 3 teams all on 2 wins, where they've beaten each other, and there's one team that doesn't win any games and loses them all.
All goes back onto frame count then, and if that's level, then we'll have a black ball shootout.
All right, okay. Yeah, the drama that a shootout brings. I mean, there's nobody better than me to tell you what drama a shootout brings. Having the last,
a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Well, the last time I was here in the final,
2 years ago.
2 years ago,
there were some misses then, Reggie.
Playing Lee Cluffley.
I can't remember who it was towards the end that missed it.
Well, is it Tomo for them?
Yeah.
We're winning for.
Who missed for your team, Reggie?
No, I didn't miss.
Did you not?
No.
Who was it that missed then?
Tomo missed for them.
Yeah.
And he missed, but it's gone bottom cushion.
Yeah. Did you not do the same?
No. I say, did he miss? He didn't miss.
No.
The only miss of the final where the black didn't go in.
And
amazingly, it was Asbo. Asbo missed and it didn't go in. He missed to the bottom left.
No, but Tomo missed one and it went in the middle pocket.
Round, it missed to the bottom right and it went top cushion.
And did you not miss one?
And I missed to the same bag into the knuckle and across, and it's dropped in, and I've rolled my cue on the table and gone, that'll do.
Yeah, thank you very much.
But there was only one miss as it goes, as in where the ball didn't end up going. And that was Lee Hansen.
You can't miss a black ball shootout. It's for players of that calibre, Reggie. You can't miss them. The dollies.
Not for Lee Hansen. He should be not. But
he
punched his, and it went wobble in the jaws.
Try to do too much with the white, and there's no need.
And the 3 misses, if you like, the 2 flukes that decided the final, Tomo and then mine.
The last 2,
all 3 balls that missed the pocket that were going for were all to the bottom right on our screen.
Yeah.
And I actually went up and just played that pocket because everybody else was. Normally in a shootout, I favour my right-hand line and play the black to the bottom left on the monitor.
Yeah, I mean, if you just give it a chance, that's all you got to do. You get players that absolutely blast it, and it's, if it catches the jaw, it's going to stay out. Just give it a chance. But anyway, we'll see one or 2 of them, I think.
Wayne Hicks, thanks very much for tuning in all the way from Florida in the US.
There you go.
Wow.
I'd like to be in Florida now. It'd be a bit warmer than what it is here.
Streaming, reaching all 4
we do anyway, Reggie. We do anyway.
It's the most.
I mean, I'm not just saying it's true, but I'm the most followed streamer of 8-ball of any Q sport.
He is the most prestigious 8-ball streamer in all of 8-ball pool.
There you go. Don't get as many viewers these days because there's that many streamers out there that's doing all sorts from all over the world now. So, but we're still in their battle.
Craig Baldwin, I'm not. It's not for us to say if it's a dream team.
Dream team.
But we like to think that being alongside each other is going to make this a very good weekend.
I'd like the music to be a bit lower, and then they could hear us better. Then you know what I mean?
They could, yeah. I think this music, they're getting a bit carried away with the volume.
I'm going to unplug this speaker at sound in me, Reg.
Yeah,
it doesn't help us make a big
sound.
Difference. Give me 5 minutes while we're waiting.
Wayne's just going to do a bit of technical stuff. I'll keep the commentary going here. Reds in play, the Newark Q Club, should I say, the Ball Breakers, in desperate need of this frame for me to stay in touch. I think if they lose this frame, it may be just too much to do from 5-2. Shake of the head there from the Ball Breakers player that's just had his shot. But of course, there's still a lot of play to be had here. Obviously, the Blacks still obviously tied up on that side, left-hand side of the table. Maybe you could have a go at the plant here, but I think at this point here, it's not a straightforward take out with that black being where it is. Maybe a back double as the first shot, bit of a calculated gamble, and then pull the trigger. And I think that's what he's looking at. Or is he playing the other one down the rail? No, he's had to go at the back double, and the wide's in, foul stroke. Great chance for the Ball Breakers to steal this frame now. Just needs to put, for me, just push the red. It pushed the red that's nearest yellow, closest to the middle of the table, onto the other red down towards the bottom left corner. And that would, for me, as long as he plays it in such a way that both reds are away from that black, it would leave him virtual drop-ins.
That sounds a little bit better, Reggie. Just disconnected the speaker above us. So, who've we got now? 7th frame. Chris Hewitt for the Railway in it, and he's playing Dan Calladine for Ball Breakers. Coming up next will be Lee Kerslake for the Railway in it, and Charlie McDonough. She'll be on for the Ball Breakers. Come on, a hell of a lot, Charlie. Over the last couple of years, I think she just missed out in the ladies' team qualification this year for the England side, but I'm sure it'll not be long before she's back there.
Yeah.
So as well, just bear with us if we do turn the microphones off every now and again. It is because of the loudness of the music. I have got it sorted so you can't hear it too much unless I deliberately ramp it up a little bit, but we can never just tell. You don't need much to Facebook to copyright you and turn you off. So every now and again you'll find there's no sound at all. It's just because we do have to turn the microphones off, like I say. So I've just managed to get the chat on. I just turned it on YouTube. I know I've not looked at it because normally I have it disabled. So there's one or two of you chatting in there. So apologies for not seeing anything. But one of them in Reggie has said best commentator bar none, Reggie Gill. Well, that's why you're here, Reggie. That's why you're here.
Can I just 1 second? I've just had James Attridge on the talking to me in private here about things, and
Okay.
James, if you're still listening, I would say one of the strongest teams here. I don't know all of the teams, but we've already mentioned the team from Manchester, which is obviously Keane Monaghan, Paul Tickle, Matt Brearley, Talbot Redmond, and they've added Aaron Davis to that side. That's
not a bad substitute, is it?
It's not a bad team at all. That's a strong side, and I'm very surprised if that team aren't in the last 8 on Sunday morning. Very surprised indeed. So, for me, if that answers your question, James, saves me keep having to text, but I'm sure you're listening.
Frederick Rich is asking if there's any teams from Sussex. The short answer to that is I've got absolutely no idea. Good afternoon to Ian Anthony, Mr. Sheldon. Don't forget to bring your whip with you on Sunday, Ian. He's helping pack away.
Oh dear, fair play.
We've got one lad who he likes to talk, Reggie. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but he does like to talk, this lad.
Oh,
he does more
bit
talk.
like me then, is he?
I never said a word, Reggie. Never said a word. But no,
I never saw that comment. Can't get it. Where's that comment?
It's on YouTube. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
He does more talking than he does working. So I've told Ian to make sure he brings a whip with him and crack it a few times.
Dave Priest has probably got a team here, I would have thought. But I'm just looking at the YouTube comments now. Sean Sharkey's team are here, aren't they, from Ireland? I'm sure they are.
John Joe Sharkey, yeah.
No, Sean Sharkey.
Sean Sharkey.
I think they've come here, and I think they've brought a team
But
over.
I think I've seen the name. Probably.
The name,
I think
Sean
so.
Sharkey, so
John
Joe
Joe
Sharkey's team got a team in from
he was
there
called
in
out.
Berkshire.
Yeah. So just this black to pull another one back. It's a great pot. So Charlie McDonough coming up now, I think it is, for ball breakers.
4-3. Important frame, that one, and that keeps the ball breakers in this match in contention.
Not too sure if her dad's watching. More than likely, if she's not driving. He drives coaches these days, does Mark. But Charlie McDonough up for ball breakers, looking to level the scores up here. And, as I said before, she's playing Lee Kerslake. It's Lee that's won the leg. So yeah, a reminder to everybody else as well that's watching, this is an amateur tournament, so before you put any comments out there with regards to standard, just remember, if you think you can do better, get yourself down here.
Scroll up on the YouTube, let's have a comment. I don't know if he can hear me, but yeah, David Tuck, he's doing Sorry, we're mainly on the Facebook. I know we're on YouTube as well. Wayne's got both, but for those of you that want to comment regular, if you like, and get involved with us, if you want to talk to me mainly, I'm not really the monitor for the YouTube's out the other side of the desk. I'm not. It's not easy for me to read from where I am. So
yeah, it's only small.
try and come into the Facebook chat, please, on Tsunami Streaming, and I'm more than happy to talk through and answer comments and give shout outs, that sort of thing. So please understand that, not being rude, but for me, the Facebook one on my phone, I've got my phone in front of me and the monitor in front behind my phone, which means.
Did you get a plug-in? Do you want that plug-in in before?
Yeah, plug-in for the charger. If you've got a plug, I mean, I've got an actual charger, but you can use the wire, or if you want to use the wire, okay. So I'm just going to plug my phone in to make sure it don't go flat. Nobody likes a flat battery, certainly not when you're trying to read comments. So perfect, charger plugged in, thank you very much. Morning, Darren. Hope you're enjoying the action. He scratched the white.
Darren Comley says good morning, Reggie.
Yeah, absolutely. Morning to everybody. Just in case I've forgotten or missed anybody, hope you're enjoying the action and stay with us over the weekend. This is Seb Webb's favourite song, the walk-on song at the turn, Shootout. The first one we had up at Greater Manchester.
No comment, Reggie.
I know. It just brings back a memory, that's all.
Right.
Even if I don't really speak to the guy anymore, I'm like the Murphys, I'm not bitter.
I am.
And,
very bitter. I always am. So
it just brings back a very fond memory at that point last year. Morning, David. Hope you're enjoying the action.
I think somebody's won a frame over there, Reggie. Sounds like it.
Yeah, definitely.
A
lot of cheering going on over in the main arena, just in front of us. Like Wayne pointed out, I think somebody got one on the board at last, and a big cheer went up.
That's the memories that you always have from pool competitions. Is the Sunday, or certainly from the stages where teams get knocked out when teams win matches. Listen.
Tell them why you're bitter.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to give the guy any airtime whatsoever. Let's just put it this way: I don't do profanities on the stream or anything like that. But the guy, no, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Best
Leave it at that. We just the thing is with social media as well. By the way, is so many people want to get involved and what have you, and it's my business at the end of the day. But if you can't see as somebody that's watches pool, plays pool, or involved in it in any way whatsoever, and you can't see what's been going off over the last God knows how long, then I don't know. You shouldn't be asking.
Then you shouldn't be on social media.
Shouldn't be asking. No.
No, let's just leave it at that.
There's a lot of people in the pool world that do a lot of good. Do a lot of good for pool and don't get any recognition. And I'd rather talk about them than people that do a disservice to the game.
Yeah,
like I say. So anyway, back to the game. We've got young Charlie McDonough here. That's going to be an absolute massive star. She is already. You know what I mean? Certainly in these parts, but she's already been part of the England ladies team, the England under-23s team, and she's never away from a pool table. She's going to be a big player.
Yeah, certainly
in a
has
few
all
years'
the
time.
credentials, the technique, the stance, that type of thing. If you, I don't know if it's that clear or obvious on the stream. Certainly, looking over my monitor, having a look at the technique, the cue action. There's obviously a lot of work gone in there to do all the important things when you're learning to start to play cue sport, snooker or pool. Do the basics correctly, get those done, get
That's
it
what it's
cast
all
iron.
about.
And she does that well, full stop. She's not the finished article by any stretch of imagination at the moment because she's only young. But as Wayne said, I think it's clear to see, you know, you'll be seeing a lot more of this particular young lady over a period of over the years.
Future ladies world champion. She is a future ladies world champion. That there is no doubt, no doubt whatsoever. She's done everything right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's clear to see, and I'm just going to look at the stream now. Just have a look at the view you guys have got at home, because I've got the benefits of sitting right here and actually watching without looking at the monitor. And it's clear to see it's a lot of work and a lot of time gone into the technique, the stance, the delivering the cue properly, that type of thing. So for me, she has all the tools to do the job. It'll just be experience and improving with shot making and potting, that type of thing. But generally, a lot of the hard works, it's you can clear to see it's in place.
Great cue action.
Yeah, the hard work's gone in. The cue action's good. The technique's good, and the rest will come with experience and time. Okay, that wasn't.
She's given him a chance here, hasn't she?
Yeah, it wasn't the best shot previously, which left her probably a little bit thin on the to cut it in. But I perhaps would have gone with the chop there, Wayne, personally, rather than the back double. I would have gone with the cut.
Mark's commented I believe her dad's pretty good as well.
Yeah. Yes, Mark. Don't blow your own trumpet then.
Not in her league, mate. He's not in her league.
No, I mean, I'm only joking, Mark.
And a big shout out to the Wiz Beach ex-servicemen's club.
Yeah, she's, as I say, David Parnell as well. Ooh. You know, all the hard work has clearly gone in behind the scenes, and that probably, where if it's a dad, probably going to have to take a lot of credit for that, because somebody's obviously given her...
Jason Hill took her under his wing as well. He was taking her to a lot of comps, and so he's done a great job with Charlie.
Comps are only one side of it. The technique side of it, standing, cue action, delivery. That's a lot of hard work away from the table, trust me.
Of course it is, yeah.
To take those imperfections out. You know, when kids grow up, there's things sometimes the way that they stand, the way the feet are positioned when they're queuing up, walking into shots correctly. All of these things, it's hard work behind the scenes, trust me.
Yeah, she's got
and somebody's put the time in, whether it's one or two or three people, whether it's Jason taking it to comms or a dad's done a lot of work. Somebody's done a lot of hard work here, and it's clear to see this is obviously...
She's got a tricky one here, Reggie. I think she's going to play the skill shot here, but it's not easy.
I think that's what she's looking at.
Just caught it a little bit too thin. If she catches it thick, it would have gone.
Yeah, it's just got to be plumb. Pretty much full ball onto ball.
She needed to be right behind it, really. But I have seen cuts like that go. I think it was Brian Alcrow against your mate up at the top hat.
That was ridiculous. Trust me.
That was a skill shot and a half. That one.
Brian Alcrow has finished. Okay. If you look at
the shot before that as well was.
Well, he's come out of a snooker onto the right cushion on your screens, kicked the ball into the left middle. He's finished between the blue spot and the right centre pocket in a line, probably about a foot to the left of the blue spot, or maybe even 2 foot to the left of the blue spot. Over that side of the table, the black right is halfway up the left-hand side rail. He's chopped it down the rail.
About an inch off the rail or something like that, wasn't it? About 2 inches off the rail.
Craig Lakin's ball, potted Lakin's ball, and still followed in at 20 frames to 16. Lakin sat on the hill. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Sick.
It's
on my videos somewhere from the Top Hat days. I think it's about 2 years ago now. I think it came up on my memories now. 3 years ago. But it has done its rounds, that shot, and some unbelievable shot it was as well. I've not seen a skill shot like it.
Computers has gone kaput again over there by the players. Somebody's pressed something. So Wayne's currently left us to go over there to get it back up onto the score updated over there. And it's currently the Railway leading 5-3. So they just need one more frame and pretty much home and dry, I would say, for qualifying. Out comes the Undertaker, wearing the frown, ready to bury the opponent again.
Just got back, seen the comment from Mark. You're welcome, Mark. It's all truths, you know that. I do have a lot to say sometimes, but I say the right things at the right time, hopefully. But yeah, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the men's and the ladies' game. With an action like she's got, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely, I'd agree with that. Seen enough there in a short space of time to see there's a very promising career ahead, depending on how much you want it, how much desire you have, how motivated you can stay down the years to stick with it when you get your ups and you get your downs, that type of thing. So I'm sure I'd agree with Wayne. I think we'll see a lot more of that young lady over the years.
So you can get me that pint later, Mark? Only joking. So Charlie, obviously from Preston Way. These boys, I think, are these from Wiz Beach Way, somewhere around there? Reggie? Ball breakers?
I'm not sure. They're playing at Newark. They could be from Wiz Beach because where Newark Q Club is,
Newark, yeah.
It's not that far from that area.
It's on your way to Yarmouth, isn't it? That's all I know.
Yeah, it's Newark, obviously, and Wiz Beach is just down the road, not too far from there. So yeah, they could be from Wiz Beach. I'm not familiar with the particulars of this team, the players, but obviously I know of Newark Q Club, Jules Goodyear's place. I believe he's still running that place.
Those of you that are tuned in, if you don't mind, just clicking that little share button, bottom left hand side, would be much appreciated. We are live also on YouTube as well. Again, just search Tsunami Streaming on there. So this is John Casel for Railway Innit. He's playing Lee Cummins.
Just going to add, just reading one or two things. There's a small matter of a game coming up soon between two guys that can play the game, I believe, called Mark Boyle and some guy called, what's his name?
Farnsworth, is it?
Is it some bloke called Farnsworth?
Yeah. Can't play the game, mate.
I don't know that much about the pair of them, to be quite honest, mate. But how do you see that one going? Is there going to be any twitching, or is it just going to be a very dreary type of match? What do you think?
As good as what both players are, I still think it won't be a classic, and because they'll both show each other a lot of respect. Do you know what I mean? And neither of them's going to want to get beat because there's a lot of bragging rights to be had. You know. So with Mark being obviously the world champion, he's got to be going favourite. But he's not cut and dry, and it's not,
Mark Farnsworth, obviously
struggling lately as well.
Current IPA world champion, I believe.
Struggling though, he's not done anything since. Nothing of note that I can think of. So Mark Boyle's got a chance there, and I think if he can get himself an early few frames on the board, he's got a good chance.
Great post here. He's put today a comment that we will cover any bets. So whatever you want. In other words, that's a pretty brash statement. Saying we will cover any bets. It's
like I'm saying, Reggie. There's a lot of pressure on Mark because Farnsworth because of the fact that he is world champion, because of the fact that he's not done too much since, and because of the fact that there's been a lot of talk about Mark Farnsworth playing money matches, and he's not had any of any note for quite a while. Do you know what I mean? Because of his status in the game, but so he's carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if it's not a classic, as good as what both players are.
No, to be honest, I think the balls will dictate what type of match it is.
Yeah, and Mark, he does tend to struggle sometimes with a break. So if it doesn't start going his way from the start, then, like I say, the pressure could absolutely overwhelm him. But we'll see. It'd be nice to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think there's an out-and-out favourite.
No, I don't. I don't believe money matches are different from tournaments and stuff. And at the end of the day, it's on the day. And as I say, when two great players go head to head, it's always that little bit of luck, who breaks better, that sort of thing. So, anyway, back to the action here, which we've got a little bit sidetracked there. But to be fair, this game opened up all of a sudden a few minutes ago, and it's this for 5-4, and he's made it. Good shot. Ball breakers, staying in touch. The Undertaker looks very miserable right now. He looks like a guy that just was told that, I've made the coffin, I'm all ready. The guy's on his last legs, and suddenly the guy makes a miracle recovery. And the Undertaker's made one coffin too many, and he's not making any money for the weekend. Bless him. Only having a joke mind. Okay, final frame of the session. This session, match number 2 on this table, and the Railway and it's still on the hill here, just needing this one frame obviously for victory, and the Ball Breakers obviously looking to try and grab a point from this game. They've trailed in the match all the way pretty much, I think from 1-0 to 1-1. But they can't be too despondent at the end of the day. They've hung in there, and nick frames, or if you like, won frames that perhaps they looked like they were going to throw away. A couple of frames back, it looked for the world that you were going to lose a frame, and then the other guy's thrown one in. So all about taking your chances. Tell you what, that's unlucky. He's gone for the cross double into top, but the Yellow's come to the rescue of his opposite number. But it was always a big ask when you leave yourself those shots as your last ball. Obviously, you're trusting obviously to a worldie, if you like, or making a huge shot like that. And to be fair, look where the white's finished. It didn't landed on the black anyway. Full ball snookered. So great chance here for the Ball Breakers to take this to a draw, a tie. I think it'd be a point apiece if that happens. I'm not sure. Is there a shootout if it's?
No, it's a point apiece.
Point apiece. That's just what I thought. So just double checking there. So a great chance for the Ball Breakers here to grab a point here. Bit of a yawn from me. Okay, just looking to lay the plans to get started. Looking at the table, the red does pass the yellow into the right corner, the green corner pocket, so he's got to be careful when he goes up the table. It doesn't make an unforced error like miss the yellow on the left hand side into the yellow corner pocket, wobble it, that type of thing, because it'd be sticking the red up. So he's got to be careful. He's having to do all the hard work here at the bottom end. I think he's left that a bit straight, really. He's run the white through. I would have left that just a little bit more of a chop, because if you did wobble it and it grabbed the bag, then at least you've got a bit of insurance for the black. He's got to give it a bit more. He's played that well. Played it very well. Good execution on the shot. And again, at that speed, if it's not accurate and it wobbles, he would have been sticking the red up, and the yellow probably would have come out the jaws. Would have cost him frame and match. As it is, he's played it well, fair play, and just has to just dolly these two yellows in now.
Just replying to Tom Jones, just so you know, Tom, Reggie's in first class accommodation this weekend. That's all we'll say on the subject.
I'm in first class accommodation. Very, 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 very nice. Thank you very much. And yes, I've got the sleeping bag with me, so if anybody wants to come and crash, they're more than welcome.
£10 a night.
£10 a night it is.
Happy
sleeping
days.
bags, a spare pillow.
There you go.
Happy days. There you go.
End of chat.
And a bucket of cold water over your head in the morning.
Yeah. And we'll both see you at the St Helens Masters in a couple of weeks' time. Next week.
No, that's this. We're there in the 24th of Jan. But next year.
Oh, you're not in a couple of weeks, right?
We're in that one. 21 teams. It is. It'll be a great event for £400 a team.
Yeah.
Runs
a good tournament, does Tony Brown.
Yeah.
That's a great frame there. Well happy to get the draw. Keeps them in it.
Absolutely. Railway will be kicking themselves because if they won, pretty much sees you through. Now they could be into a three-way dogfight. Yep,
and we're going to have another match coming up for you very, very shortly. I do know that the other teams have finished. So, 1 second. I'll just get the scoreboard up ready. I'm going to restart the stream anyway. So just bear with us. That's why it's not coming up. Pressing the wrong table number. There you go. Should be. No? What's going on there? I'll sort it out. So I'll be back. Me and Reggie will be back in about 5 minutes' time.
Yeah, tea time for me. I'm off to get a tea and go to the boys' room. So
the French team are back. 8 Trolls versus Ball Breakers.
We'll see you shortly, guys.